Now, let's see if anybody turns up. There's nobody there, so I'm talking to myself. Pretty normal in my house. Pretty normal. I suppose I should talk for those who watch afterwards. Just thought I'd do a wee live again. I'm trying to get back into doing lives. They're not my favourite thing, but I've decided today not to have a topic and just talk about whatever when people turn up, if they turn up. Oh, there's one person in. If people turn up, I'll just talk about whatever. I've got all my knives here around me. My sacks are behind me. My fixed blades are up here. I've got all my non-locking knives here, and I have my locking knives in the drawer at the bottom. Two people there. Well, hello. Say hello. Don't be a stranger. Come on into Paddy's parlour. 3 now. Good. Just need somebody who's allowed to talk. Say hello, hey. Well, we're down to 2. I've upset somebody. Hello there. Who's that? Tireless Reviews. Hello, mate. How you doing? I don't know you, but I take it you've got a YouTube channel called Tireless Reviews. If so, I'll check it out afterwards. Tireless Reviews. I'll have to check that out. You're very welcome. There's 5 of you now. 6. Oh, we're going up rightly. So I've no topic for discussion today. We'll just have a chat while we're waiting. Hello, Tireless Reviews. Jared Ross, how are you, sir? So while we're waiting for people to join in, we've only about 6 there. What are you carrying today? I'm carrying my mini Benchmade 945, or it's a mini 940, but it's a beautiful little knife. Really enjoying it. So what have you been carrying today? What's Sunday carry like for you boys? 9 of you there now. Great. Let me see what you've been carrying today. Boy, this goes up and down, doesn't it? People must just come in and not like the look of this old fella behind the camera and then go away again. Anybody been carrying knives? Is there anybody out there that likes knives? Hello, Fra Ross. How are you? Nice to see you. I know Jared will carry a knife. Tara, it's good to see you. I'm subbed and I've made some comments. Hope you are well. Today's carry is a bevy. Lovely little carry. Have Tireless Reviews, have you got a YouTube channel? I don't know whether I've subbed to you or not. It gets a bit confusing. Once you get after that 1,000, things just sort of disappear on you. So I have to say, I'm really enjoying this wee knife. I've gone back to the split arrow clip. I like it better than the fold over one, the deep carry. I find it quite... Hello. Joe, how you doing? Stuff we do. Hello, Paddy, how you doing? Victorinox Cadet. Do you know, I don't even know whether I've got a Victorinox Cadet. I think I might have one in there. I have about 30 of the blooming things now, but I don't think I've got a Cadet yet, strangely enough. But it's one of those ones that I probably wouldn't pick up because I'm not too keen in the bottle openers. I never use them. Hello, Mark. How you doing? Jerry from... Hello, Mark. Jerry from Colorado. Love your knife reviews. Hello, Jerry. How you doing? Mark J. Right, Jerry. I'll have to remember that now when I see Mark up. 2 likes already. Thank you very much. You ever hit the like button? Really, apparently it does something. I don't know. As you know, I don't ask people to do all that. If you want to do it, you'll do it. Most people have been on YouTube before they get to my channel. But it's lovely when you do. I think it does something for the viewings. Can you see this reflection? I've got one of those ring lights. I only just got it. And it's behind the camera. But it seems to throw really good light. I'm in a wee tiny room in the caravan, so there's nothing much there. Anybody carrying anything? No. These are very shy. Very, very shy. Normally I carry if I'm carrying a locking knife, I carry a fixed blade as well. And for my IG photograph I did today, but I'm really only carrying this. I'm not carrying it. This is light enough to sit in my pocket. I'm idle spin on Reddit. Yes, but it's old and not updated. Oh, I see. I only have Victorinox. Yeah, I mean, I've been recently carrying more and more Victorinox. Did you see my video yesterday? A Victorinox Excelsior on me. I've got XM18. Do you know what's funny? I had mine out playing with it earlier on. I love this. Mine's the Hinderer Slippy. Love this knife. This is just an absolute cracker. And this will do anything. This is one of those do anything. I don't know, because I don't use it a whole lot, because I've got this in honor of my father, and I want to pass it down to my kids, but I still use it, but not hard. And I really should, because it's a knife that's meant for using. Does anybody else do that? What was I thinking there? Oh, here, that's what I wanted to say. This is my Victorinox box at the back of me. Did any of you see this one yesterday? One of my friends here in Bangor in Northern Ireland made this one for me. I absolutely loved it. There's a video up yesterday of it. And the thing that I liked about it the most, it's got an inline screwdriver, which I absolutely love. But it also has the magnifying glass, which is great, because these are not for close-up reading. It's because I'm sitting back, I can use it. GEC 88 Yeti, lovely knife. I have the Crocodile Geezer. Oh, there we go. I have the Crocodile one. I think that's 88, isn't it? There's that many different ones of them. Yeah, that's 88. Love this knife, really. I didn't know whether I was going to like it or not. The blades I'm getting used to, let's put it like that. So I got this in micarta. He done it in micarta for me, and you see the feeling of a Victorinox in micarta. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Really loving it. Really enjoying that knife. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, I've got all my knives here in front of me. If I just tilt you down a wee bit, there's a couple of boxes of all my slip joints, and down below in there is all my locking knives. So if there's any of my collection you want to ask about or you want to see, just ask me and I'll get them out. Love the poor man. Hello, how you doing? Nice to see you. And by all means, ask any questions at all. I'm not very shy. I don't hold much back at all. So you can ask whatever you like. Whatever you like. And I'll tell you, outside that window, it's blowing a gale. I don't know how many times I've done the wee hair today, and it's just not sitting right. But it's blowing a gale out there. So we're stuck in the caravan for the afternoon. Do you A? Do you A? Not sure what that means. Do you A? Yes. And B. Do you A? I don't know what it is. I'll wait for you to finish. Do you have a Vero Neutron? No. I have to say, I have stopped spending big money on locking knives anymore, because, to be honest with you, I wasn't getting the use out of them. And for years, I've done it to keep the channel going. Now I have a selection that I use around the caravan here, around the house. But there was no point in me investing big money, because I wasn't getting the use out of them. And that's it, really. I just wasn't getting any use out of them. I was just putting money after money. Whereas now, I like very addictive. Those are sex. Oh, I missed that. I'll have to keep watching it. Yes, the locking knives, I've got enough that, so I've got, let me just show you some of the locking knives. I have a Spyderco Para 3, which will really do me for anything as a locking knife. But I have this lovely, I have the ZT, when Z2 could make a knife. Double detent. Oh, it's got a double detent. Right. I've had a few double detent knives, and I kind of like them, you know what I mean? I've got a 940. These are sort of the main ones. I've got the Blur, which I absolutely love. And the rest of mine are sort of, well, no, there's one more. There's this one, which is my absolute favorite at the minute. This is the Cold Steel American Lawman. What a cracking knife. This is just super. Any recommendations for a fishing knife? I'm going to tell you this, and I'll tell you no more. I've got a knife here that I used for fishing. Now, I was a fly fisherman. Why I ever got this knife, it just shows you how much I didn't know about knives. I took my wife into this big sports shop and I said I wanted a knife for fishing. And we had a look around. This is before I knew any makes whatsoever. And I ended up walking out with this. It's a big buck 278 with a gut hook. Rubber handles, thick stock, great knife. Takes a wicked edge. It's the 420HC. Takes a wicked edge. The gut hook is great. Sharpens up easily. I used this for years at the side of riverbanks, catching wee trout. And I've got to the stage where I could, a little pound trout's about this size. Do you know what I mean? I could do everything with it. Take fillets off with this knife. It's a hollow grind, but I'd got used to it. So that's what I was using for fishing, for river trout and rainbow trout in big lakes. Paddy, what Sheffield knives are still worth buying? Really easy answer to that. What Sheffield knives are worth buying? If you want budget knives, this is Sheffield Barlow, made by Wright and Sons. Just type in Wright and Sons into Google. Their shop, their main shop will come up, and just go on to them. These are made now by Ashley Harrison and his father. They own Wright and Sons, and they have turned it round. It really is. This is just a working knife. It's about £38. Absolutely amazing knife with just a stainless steel or carbon steel, whichever you like. But Ashley Harrison is my favourite maker. Anyway, he made me this. He does this. He made me this knife in this bone, this beautiful knife. Go back on my channel, you'll see plenty of reviews on it. It's a gorgeous, big, solid work knife. Just over £100, custom made. My choices of everything material. It's an 01 tool steel. It's dyed bone. Absolutely beautiful. So Arthur Wright and Sons and Ashley Harrison, who is the son, but he also does custom knives of his own that are separate from the family business. Getting on his books is a nightmare. The other one I would recommend, and it's more for high end, is the Tailor's Eyewitness. Hello, Daniel. How you doing? Tailor's Eyewitness make an extremely high-end knife. There's one person, Lee White, who makes these for Tailor's Eyewitness. But a knife like this is about £170, 160 to 180 for their high-end ones. I have a couple of these. I have another one in... Where is it? I have another one here. Beautiful knife. Not such a strong pull in this. Ashley Harrison's and Wrights have a better pull. I like about an 8 pull in a knife. And these are about a 6. Stuff we do. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Now, anybody else got a question? Or did I miss something? If I miss you, just come back round again. I get confused with this. I know you're a fan of Who and Twisted Assisted. How do they compare with the more expensive Jack Wolf's knives worth cost? To be honest with you, and I can only be honest, and I wish Who Knives every success in the world. And he's made a really good product, and I'll stand by him. It's a lovely product. And Twisted Assisted, they're lovely. They actually sent me knives. I've got the 2 of theirs. I've got this one which is due for release, and I have this one which has been released. Which is the Junzi, which is an absolutely amazing knife, and so is this for the price. These 2 knives for the price can't be beaten, but you can't compare these to the Jack Wolf knives. I know that's probably I don't want it to sound but they're not in the same bracket, and they're really good knives, and I recommend them to anybody. But if you want to step up to Jack Wolf knives, this is the little bro Jack. It's just been recalled. He had some problems, so he done the decent thing, and he recalled them. He's going to fix them and get them back out again. This is way above in materials, in fit and finish, in just the detail. You wouldn't find the slightest little hairline gap in them. They're sharpened to perfection. It's a full hollow grind, which is a skilled man to do that, do you know what I mean? But the scales and everything's hafted to fit. They're integral liners and bolsters. They're just immaculate. So I wouldn't compare them to them, but for their price bracket, they're top of the range in their price bracket. If that makes any sense, that's about as honest as I'll get. And I'll still keep them and use them as much as I'll use these. But I think knives you have to keep in their price bracket and judge them against something else that costs the same. Hey up, Paddy. Hello, Mal and Trias. I missed the comment now. I don't know how to get the comments back up again. So if I do miss you, please put it back up. That's lovely. 8 of you hit the like button. Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate that. And we've got about 25 there now. I'm really shocked. I don't do these very much anymore. They're not... It's not that I don't enjoy them. I do. I just find this very hard to concentrate. So I used to try and think of a theme to do. And by the time I'd look down at something, I'd miss 10 comments. And if I touch that screen, it will go wrong. It will definitely go wrong. So that's it put me off. And then, but I do want to come back because I go on to other people's and I listen to them and I enjoy the crack. Okay, Paddy, thank you. Understand. Very interested in the little bro. Might pull the trigger. Well, there's 3 of Jack Wolf's designs that stand really out to me. Moose, thank you very much, and happy Father's Day to you, if you are one. This little bro is just... I'll put it up beside. Here's the GEC number 15. You'll hear me talking about the boy's knife. There's the GE number 15 against the little bro Jack. The little bro Jack is a tiny bit bigger, but not that much, a tiny bit bigger. But the perfect knife, you get 4 full fingers. I have a medium large hand, 4 full fingers on it. Great knife. This is just way beyond. The cutting ability on these is slicing is exciting. It just gets me excited. I could sit and cut paper for an hour just slicing. They're so good, so good. And like, there's nothing, you know, my GECs are my favorite knives, but these are my very favorite high-end knives, and I know they're dear. I mean, if I was, in all honesty, of the 11 patterns that I've seen, I think it's 11 that I've seen, there's 3 that stand out that I just love. Absolutely will be with the top 3 in my collection. That little bro is one of them. There's 2 more to come, but I'm going to have a little game on the who can guess what 3 that I would pick, and I'm going to give a prize away for it. So, let me see. Any other questions? Keep them coming up, otherwise I'll talk, and you know I just keep going. Did anybody else get the 940, the 945, and like it as much as I like the big knife? I have the big one as well. This would be one of my favourite work knives. Hey, Paddy, did you have any blade wrap on that little bro? I have mine on the way. I said I'd fix it myself. Fixing it yourself's the best way to do it. I had none. And most of the people that had it, it was a fraction. It was about 0.5 millimeter at most. And usually 1 or 2 wee sharpens, gets rid of it, and then you never really get it back again. Do you know what I mean? So that my little bro was absolutely perfect. Nothing on it. Nothing at all. So I just kept mine. I'm quite happy. Even if there had been blade wrap, like you, I would have kept it. And just, there's so many slip joints come with blade wrap. They shouldn't, and that's a fact. What Ben is doing is, because his knives are expensive, he's not going to leave it the chance. If there's blade wrap, he'll fix it, put them back out. That's a good, honest, that's the sort of man I want to buy something off, that will fix problems before they even occur, before they get in your hands. That's what you want. So he sends enough testers out, and he'll find out. You'll love the little bro, though. Oh, did you get it? I have mine on the way. Jersey Pete, you'll have no problems. You will absolutely love it. I think you like the boy's knife, the 15. That's just amazing. It's a wee bit bigger. It's just amazing. Harrison, oh, I missed that. Sorry, Harrison, I missed yours. I'll get it when it comes up again the next time. When somebody puts a comment up, the last one usually comes up with them. Thank you for those who hit the like buttons. There's a few left, and it seems to come and go. Harrison, stick yours up again, mate, and I'll give you an answer to your question. Yes, both small and larger BMs. I prefer the smaller one, but that's a result of general preference for size. Yeah, I mean, I as a work knife, I'll use the big one, but as a wee EDC knife, This is even smaller in the pocket. Takes up no room, no weight, but and it's thinner behind the edge than the big one, which is great for just your average EDC, cutting food up and things like that. But I love it, and I love this blacked out version. It just separates it from the older one, because I do love the green carpet right here. Larger BMs are happy American Father's Day, Mr. Paddy. I think it's Father's Day here too. Well, one of my kids rang me up and wished me happy Father's Day. So we're down the caravan. I'll see them on Tuesday when I'm up. So they give me a ring. One of them's out in Spain on holiday, and the other one's got 4 kids at home just after doing 2 24-hour shifts. So I'll see them later in the week. And another one of my girls is working today. So I don't get to see mine as often as I would during the summer, which is quite strange because I'm down the caravan. Oh, is it? Okay. Not sure what I answered there. I must have answered. Oh, I hope I answered okay. I hope I answered okay. It's lovely to have. I love the Axis lock. To be honest with you, I think it's one of the best. Like Harrison, how you doing? Hi, Paddy. Have you tried any of the new offerings from Rough Rider Reserve, and would you recommend them? Do you want to know something? I just ordered the newest Rough Rider Barlow yesterday, so I'm hoping to get it Monday or Tuesday. But do I recommend? I've had this question asked so many times. Rough Rider Reserve. Now, again, over here in the UK, everything's dearer. Rough Riders are dearer. The new Barlow cost me £60. These ones were a bit cheaper. I have these two, which are the single blades, which are the thinner versions of the knives of the Rough Rider Reserve. All single blades I've been buying from I got this one, because the other ones I seen, I just didn't like them. They're big, they're fat, the wells are too wide, didn't like them. So the only 3 Rough Rider Reserves I've got are these 3 big ones with an easy open. And then I've just ordered the Barlow. It came into Heine Haynes. Within a day it was back out again, but I should have it Monday or Tuesday and I'll do the review. It's in the same micarta as this, so I'm really looking forward to it. Everybody's looked lovely. Thank you, Mark, and the same to you, my friend. Lovely to see you on here. I haven't watched your video this morning. I've seen it up and then I decided to come out here myself, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. You've been doing a real good lot of reviews, and you've got some beautiful knives back in your collection again. Open L or Old Bear? Open L, because I've never had an Old Bear. I don't think I've seen that many of them on YouTube, but I don't think I've ever had an Old Bear. So Open L, I always have a handful of Open L's at any time around me. They are just super knives, great knives. And if money wasn't an option, you would just fill your drawer with those. They're absolutely fantastic. They cut better than the slim ones. The number 6 cuts better than it. Well, it cuts as good as that £250 Jack Wolf, £275. You know, it'll slice as well as that. It just doesn't have the looks and the form, the function. But as a work tool, they are amazing. Love them. I must try an Old Bear. I think Heine does Old Bear. I'll try an Old Bear, I think, and see what it's like. It's worth trying. Boy, you're all great in that like button. Look at that. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I love watching other people's live reviews. I just don't feel as if I give as good as I get in a live video. Do you know what I mean? I'm always worried of stopping conversation and having nothing to say. It never really happens in my life, but I always think I've stopped for too long. Hi, Paddy. I quite fancy an Otter 3-rivet knife. Have you experience with them? I don't have the Otter 3-rivet because it's not UK legal. So, not that that stops me buying knives, but I have the Otter anchor knife, this knife here, and I would recommend this to anybody. I think it's Sleipner steel, holds an edge for a reasonable long time. Really good, but a really good work knife. It's more like a ram's foot than a sheep's foot, because it's wider at this end, thinner at this end. But a sheep's foot, I would probably call it. But a sailor's knife, a rope knife is probably the word. Missed it. So yes, Otter make a really good knife. I have not had a whole stack of them, but the fit and finish on this particular one is immaculate. It really is. No, no half stop. but a great, it's a real lovely knife to use, and I would recommend it to anybody. So, but anybody else down in the conversation, if you've had the 3 rivet knife, please chime in and let the people know what you think of them, because I can't. Let me tell you, I was sitting trying to work out how many knives I've got left. I've had a huge cull over the last 18 months, and I must have been over 400, and I'm down to about 200 now. Now, a lot of them are just little pen knives that I collect, as you know. I haven't got any of them here. Oh, here they are. They're in here. This is what I like. I don't know if you'll see it. That's just a box full of little pen knives. Top and bottom, absolute, about at least 2 deep, because I love them. I just love little pen knives. This was my carry yesterday. This is what I carried in my pocket yesterday, was just this. A little pen knife. It's a 2-bladed pen knife, and it's nearly like some sort of plastic. Good morning, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, Mika. It's lovely to see you. And if I've got your name wrong, do you know, that's not what I carried yesterday. That's what I carried yesterday. It's still in my pocket. This isn't even. I buy these wee pen knives on Etsy or somewhere like that. And look, you can see this blade here. There was a big chip out of the blade. It had been abused. It was rusted and everything. So what I done is I sharpened it from here right to here and just kept the whole blade length. But it's like a bow, and it's fantastic for cutting. It's just, look, these wee knives are so thin, just so thin. They cut. I love slicey knives, just absolutely love them. And these wee pen knives, honestly, they're fantastic. You know, if you go on in America, I'm sure you have Etsy too, but I think wherever your second-hand sales are, and try picking up some of the old, especially the old English ones. You can get them right back to the 18th century that are still usable. Still fantastic blades. The carbon steel was amazing. Obviously, there was no stainless steel back then. That didn't come into the 19th century. But the 18th century carbon, whatever it was, by gosh, it takes a wicked edge. And it's really worth trying one of them just to see whether you like it or not. Gone off me. See, I go off on a rant. I go off on a rant. Anything else? Ask me some questions. Has anybody got any knives coming they're looking forward to? Did you ever try the new out of production Enzo BK? Do you want to know something? I never did. And Slick Slicers repeatedly warned me to buy one. Hello, Rhino, how you doing? And Rhino says hello to you all. I should have bought one when they were there. He had warned me they were going out of production, and I put off and put off and put off until it went out of production. And I really wish I had. And I wish I'd have got the carbon fiber with the bolster, the silver bolster on top. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. But I'm not short of knives, and you can't have every knife. And it's nice to have somebody who's in your country or lives close to have knives that you don't. Then you're not constantly just overlapping, seeing the same knives, which is one thing that I know it's going to happen. But it's one thing for me is seeing, you know, the same video of a same knife going on for weeks and weeks. You're seeing maybe 2 or 3 of that same knife. I actually got the 940 and a benchmade for a train for a Victorinox and an executive how the springs were broken. Oh, I'll tell you what, when I got my first bug out, I bought, this one's a clone I just use now, I won't buy anymore. I bought a couple. Both springs went on my new one. One spring is gone on my other green 940, although that had been used for years by Jeff Jewell. But the bug out, I had a couple of springs go. But I rang them up, told them they'd gone, and they sent me the springs. Because I live in Ireland, they just sent them over and I put them in, which is fantastic, so you can't fault them. As of yet, this is the 945. The springs haven't gone on it, and I do tend to, when I have this as an EDC day, it gets battered because I love the feeling of the axis lock. Love it. And the other one I had out for review the other day, and I keep forgetting. Oh, I love this knife. This Blur is one of the most comfortable knives with its stock clip, which doesn't look the best, but by God, it just comfortable in hand. Beautiful recurve for cutting. You don't slide out of cuts. I love it. Absolutely love this. But that, oh, that's what gets me going. That's what gets me going. And here's another knife I pulled out the other day and I hadn't seen. Hello, Dane and Pedro. Love the blur. Blur is just super. Here's an old knife that I got on, where did I get this? I think it was AliExpress. It's a Tucson. Look at that blade. Look at that blade. Is that not just gorgeous? This was years ago I got this. And Hawaii Knife and Gear sent me the little small one that's very similar to this, but it's only about yay size. I must bring it down with me. It's up at home. But look at that recurve and then that flat ground. This is hollow and a recurve, flat ground at the top. Just a beast of a knife and really easy to sharpen. It's really that recurve on sticks. Never be frightened of recurves. A couple of sticks, all you got to do is keep the blade straight. You know, you're just doing that. And these are absolute. That's a beautiful knife. Titanium. Look, I think at the time I bought it, it was about 60 quid for, and I think, what is this on there? I can't remember. It's D2. But there it is there. Just Tucson, the old Tucsons were brilliant. I haven't felt the need to buy a whole lot of the new ones because I just love this. I mean, what action are you going to get better than that? Do you know what I mean? It's just beautiful. What else have I got here? There's an old one here. Not an old one, but I suppose it is the CH knives. It came in this beautiful carbon fiber and titanium back, titanium clip. Beautiful fat little blade. This is a great wee stocky worker. It's about, when I hold it like that at a pinch grip, I can get all my fingers on it. And it's a great working knife for anything, whether you were a skinning anything or just, it's just wicked. And it's got, what's the deal on this? Oz8. That's all it is, Oz8. But Oz8 is fine because it was heat treated well. And I love this little knife. The model of the CH is the CH3005. There we go, if you can see that. 3005. Just a beautiful little knife. Stunning. I mean, they even go to the far. It's a lovely little pivot collar around it in gold, which is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. There's some lovely knives out there, but modern ones. This is by far the best up-to-date modern one I've got. Look at that blade. Look how fat that is there. It's a flat ground, straight down. It might even be a little bit of a, I'm saying it's flat, but might be a little bit of a belly there. But this is a stunning knife. What's this? It's just, it's absolutely, it's a bit of a weak detent, but by God, the knife just drops. I love using this. Absolutely cracking lock. Because it's a liner lock, I've no fear. But just a stunning knife. This is the Kubi, and it's, I think it's the, is it the 322? I haven't, no, what do I see? I have another Kubi. What's it? I think it's actually got the name on it. I don't know the review, I can't remember. That might be it. The little pointy one. It's another super, 2 blades from Kubi. Absolutely super. One smaller EDC and one a work knife. The blade, that's very like the Arius, which I just love that knife. Not a knife I'll ever be able to afford, but I can look and enjoy. And I don't know, is anybody else like me? I love seeing expensive knives. I have no knife envy. I would love them, but I've no knife envy. If somebody's got them, good on you. Just show them to me. I love seeing people getting their Grail knives, or even people who get knives that are £1,000. That it's not a Grail, it's just an everyday knife. But I just wish more of them would actually show them. Jim Skelton used to show so many fancy knives that were never good. They were the price of a car. But I loved his channel. Now he started up again. I have to get around to watching him. Do you know why you get out of the habit of watching somebody because they disappear? But I must get back to watching him again. What else have I got down here? Here's one of my all-time favourites. If you've been in the Paddy channel, there we go. This is the Ganzo, what is it, 729? Yep, G729. This is one of the original ones. They're making a new one now with an oval hole. This still has the round hole. This is just absolutely beautiful. This knife is a workhorse. It's a Para 2 substitute. I don't have a Para 2 anymore simply because when the Para 3 came out, this replaced it because it was so much more comfortable in the hand. Although I don't like the light version of this. I had the light Para 3. I didn't enjoy it at all. Really didn't enjoy it. So I went back to this one again and I love it. Love it. Now, what else we got? And there's another one. I've been... Oh. How you doing? I'm doing great, thank you very much. What's your favourite knife to carry at the moment? Do you want to know the answer to that? It's dead simple. My favourite knife at the moment is usually the knife of the moment. Hi, Paddy. I got the RR Wasp and a single bladed Barlow and cinnamon out to say. Yeah, I mean, Rough Rider are just the best knives to start seeing what patterns you like. And if you like them, sometimes people never go past them because they're such good value. But as to the knife I like carrying the most, it's going to have to be the Little Bear, because I've had it now since Monday and it's been beside me most of the time. But my best knife for carry is always usually the newest and brightest one, and this is just beautiful. Copper dark matter carbon fiber. It's just absolutely stunning. But if it wasn't that, the other one that I got recently was GEC, and this was the not the Stallion, what do they call it? Mustang. I got the Mustang recently and I love it. Lovely drop point. It's not something that GEC, you see an awful lot of, but they make some of the best drop points. Really stunning knife. And this one's in bone. It's just, oh, full 4-finger grip, fatter bottom on it, beautiful, real lovely work knife. $10.95, and that's all I need. So that would be another one of my favorite ones. This is another one that I use more than you actually see. This is, I showed this earlier, this is the Arthur Wright & Sons. This is their basic Barlow. And it's about £38 or something like that it costs to buy. It's one of the best buys you'll ever get. Absolutely super. Love the fat. The UK Barlows are fatter as a whole than American just standard Barlows. I love that. The grip you get is beautiful. Really thin behind the edge. Well, it's not ultra thin, but it's thin enough for it to do anything and slice anything. Beautiful. So that's the sort of knife that I use a lot to cut with. That one's in stainless steel. Most of the other Barlows, UK wise, would be carbon. But I've lots of knives in here that, you know, I swoon over, but yet they mightn't get carried a whole lot. Here's a typical one, right? This knife most people wouldn't buy. Now, I bought this knowing that it was a soft. It is a very, very weak, I would say it's about a 2 or 3 pull on this. It is just, there's next to nothing. But it's a Shatton Morgan. Everything about this knife is absolutely beautiful, except for the pull. The back spring is absolute rubbish. I don't know how it got out of the shop, but then again, that's why Shatton Morgan went bust when you don't do. But as far as blades go, this is beautiful. And I'll use this. I don't need to have a big hard thing. For me, I've been used to slip joints my whole life. I put my finger up to the Ricasso there. It's never going to really close because I'm never going to use this knife to do heavy tasks. But it's a knife I love and I carry and I keep in my collection, in my good box of my collection, because the knife looks beautiful. So well done, except for that back spring. Just broke my heart when it came and it was so bad. Like a 2 it's 1 or 2. What's a good source to buy knives in Ireland? Friends. Getting to know people and swapping and making more friends, which I'm trying. I have met a stack now in Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, doesn't matter which part of Ireland. I have met some fantastic friends, and buying and selling between friends is the best way. To get knives, you've shops like Heine Haynes, Moonraker, and there's a lot of other bushcraft shops that do a few knives, but there isn't a whole lot of shops that sell knives, especially locking knives. They're getting harder and harder to get here, and I think eventually they want them completely out. But friends, Instagram, buying your knives off Instagram, but trying to buy local, because by the time you buy from America and then you get the costs of import duties, it's usually costing you much more than what the knife's worth. So Instagram's a great way of getting friends that are in the UK or Southern Ireland and buying that way within Europe. It's within Europe for me because Northern Ireland is still part of Europe as far as the industrial side goes. I don't have to pay the big charges for stuff coming in from Europe, which is nice. It'll not last very long, but it's nice. And you know, as somebody said, what's one of your favorite carries? There's one of my favorite carries. Told you, head like a sieve. This is the Giant Mouse Ace Farley. This is about $150 knife. It's M390. It is green carbon, or not carbon, green micarta. This is the swayback jack. Again, this is about $250, and the bottom one's about $150. Can you tell the difference? Only just. Only just. The fit and finish in this, again, the fit and finish in this is brilliant, but it's the rounded over spines and that, which don't, I don't know whether you know it or not, but they don't have to be as exact. That covers up a multitude of sins. These are hand fitted, hand hafted to get them to fit properly. So yes, the fit and finish on this is a bit better, but this is a solid knife. I love this. It's not as slicey as this either. The blade is a flat grind. It's perfect. Perfect. You don't need it any slicer, but this is slicer. So it's what you want and what you pay for. This is, I can tell the difference in hand with this, just straight away to this. But again, there's £100 difference, which is a lot. So you always just buy what you can afford. But two beautiful examples of that, over 150 up to 250. Is there much difference in them? I personally don't think there's a huge amount, but when you get them in hand, I feel the difference in this. Definitely, definitely. So I hope that answered that question, and maybe another one. But they're two beautiful knives. But that Ace Farley. Trouble is, there's only Fraymar knives in the UK. Go over and check them out, fraymarknives.co.uk. I don't get anything for it. I'm very friendly with them, and they gave me this, but I don't get anything else. But they're the dealers for the Giant Mouse and the Ace, the Biblios and all that. They have them in stock over in England, so check them out. Fraymar Knives. That's F-R-A-M-A-R. Fraymar. Gonna have to take a wee drink of my tea. Now, any other questions, or did I miss any questions? This is a great crowd. It's in the 20s. It's lovely. I think I keep saying it every time. I'm going to do more. But I think this setup today, I like this because I've all my knives around me. Does anybody else collect older knives? Hello. What is a good source? We've got that. What is your favourite tea to drink? Mark, do you want to know if it's just ordinary tea? It's Nambari, which is a fantastic strong tea. It's a Northern Irish tea. But recently I've been drinking lemon tea. And I mean, just consistently. I can't remember the last time I had a cup of normal tea, which is unheard of in my 60 odd years. All I've ever drank is tea, but lemon tea, I'm adoring it. I take less sugar in it. There's less sugar in my cups now, and I drink an awful lot during the day. But yeah, lemon tea I've been drinking. It's Lift lemon tea, it's called. L-I-F-T. Beautiful. 1 spoonful of it, quarter a spoonful of sugar, where I would have took a full spoonful. And I'm hooked on it. Hooked on it. Yes, it really is. Oh, you like it as well. It's funny, when you start drinking something, you say it, so many people drink flavoured teas. That is easy. Brand tea, brandy. Right. Never heard of that, I don't think. Brand tea, brandy. Don't think I have. Could have, though. You would never know. I have a head like a sieve. A head like a sieve. And I haven't been answering many of the comments. Sally was ill for about a week there, so I tend not to sit on my phone when she's ill. It's just not rude. But she was ill there for about a week. Much better now. Back on her feet. She started shouting at me, so I know she's all right. Does Jack Pike make a good knife? Does Jack Pike make good knives? Do you know, I've heard of Pike knives. Sure I have. I don't know. I've never had one. Never have been. We've been drinking peach tea. Oh, I would even try that now. Framer are excellent and also sell some nice pre-owned blades. Yeah, really lovely shop. It's one of the shops that I'm going to make a purpose of one year is getting over and going to see the shop and meeting Frank and Andrew. That's the father and the son. They are Frank, the owner, is a tit. He talked me into the ground. Talks me into the ground. And Andrew's a lovely, lovely fella. He'll be taking over from his dad, and not that his dad's going to retire imminently, just he'll be taking over in the business, which is great to see the family shop running. I mean, they've been doing knives as Framer knives. They got Chris Reeve knives right from the beginning. They're actually friends with Chris Reeves and his family, and they've been selling his knives in the UK here for 30 odd years. So, I mean, they really are a family business. So the more support we can give them, the better. The more support. I don't even ask them for a discount on it because they are a small run business. So you know what it's like in this day and age. I just wouldn't want anybody to lose it if they can help it. Don't lose it. And they're very kind. They give me a knife every now and then to look after for them. Well, to look after. Here's one I've got. This is the XL office knife. Does anybody else carry older knives, like older knives? The best tea. Oh, I missed that. This is just an old secretary's knife. I still haven't done it up properly yet, but two lovely blades like a spear, and this looks like a spay blade, but this is a little story. For maybe those who don't know, this blade on a secretary's knife looks very like a spay. It's flatter on the top corner here and then into your blade. It's not a spay knife. This was an ink eraser. So you used to turn the blade round, and when you had, ink on proper parchment paper, you scraped, if you misprinted something, you just scraped it off and then rewrote it again. I think it even done for typewriters when they came in, but don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But it was just an eraser for taking out when you wrote something wrong. Rooster Dad, I know you do, yes. I love these. Getting this one was just an absolute joy. I've been looking for one for ages, not necessarily a British one, but this is an IXL, which is brilliant. I love all the secondary knives, and I would love to get the American one because I collect as many American knives as I do. Well, I have more of a collection of American knives than I have UK knives, just because there is a bigger quantity. I also got this one. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love the bolsters on this. Look at them. Beautiful bolsters. Just a stunning knife. Love it. So I love things like that. And I've got an old one here. I think this is a Fighting Rooster. This was the one-armed jack. Well, it's not. It's one-armed jack. This is a beautiful knife with that really heavily embossed Barlow. Gorgeous one-hand opener. Tireless reviews. Did you get your first one? I mean, he's just a lovely, lovely man. I think they're just one of the highlights of my week is speaking to them at the shop when I get through to them and speak to them. They're just a lovely pairing. Completely. Old Frank's just been over at the Isle of Man TT. He loves his racing. So does Chris Reeves, by the way. And they have had holidays over there in the Isle of Man together watching the racing. And I think just stories like that are fantastic. Absolutely. The friendships that you make. I'm a bit of an antisocial bugger in real life. As you all know, I don't make any secret of it. I'm a recovered alcoholic, and so is my wife. We're both over 30 years sober. But we're antisocial as in the fact we've got a huge family. We had 10 children between us. We have about 25 grandchildren. I say about because I can never get it right. About 25 grandchildren. And so we sort of spend our time with family. We're not great social animals. We don't go out to restaurants unless we really have to. I'd go out to a restaurant a couple of times a year maybe. But we just have rules that we stick by, and we've never broken, which is, I like to think it's why I'm 30 odd years sober. We don't go to bars unless we have to. But so we don't have that social side, but we're quite happy with our own company. I mean, we spend the summer down here in the caravan. There's just the two of us in a wee box. And to be honest, we get on like a house on fire. most of the time. Like all married people will have our fallouts. But do I have any Cold Steel? Yes, I have the American Lawman, who I would recommend to a blind man going up a light alley. This is absolutely a cracking thin knife, but my goodness, the grip on it. It's tall, this dimension. You get a great grip, great sneak up. This is an S35 VN, the best money for a buck you can buy. It just is just super with a triad lock, just an absolute beater. Beautiful knife though, absolutely beautiful. And the only other Cold Steel I have got, or have had, I would like to say, is the Finwolf. I've had a couple of these. This is the Finwolf, and this is the sort of folding wood knife, wood carver's knife. Really is lovely. It's got that Scandi grind on it. It's got the triad lock as well. But a great, I would use this as a fixed blade. You could beat away on this, no problem. I don't, but I do pry enough. It's the knife. Let me just show you. You're going to see the tip of that. I pry with this knife constantly. I'm trying to get you a good. It is so battered up the tip. I have it. I use this for prying an awful lot. It's only an Oz 8 as well, but Cold Steel done a great job with Oz 8. I think about the hangers we missed by not drinking. Just it's great. I mean, I was a daily drinker, so hangovers were never really my scene. I just drank the next day and it went away. So I was, but you see the thought of feeling absolutely lousy every day. I don't know how I kept going for so long. No idea how I kept going. But sobriety has been a joy. I've had some horrendous things happen. I mean, I lost a son when I was sober, which is probably the biggest test I was ever put under. But it wasn't really a test. By then I was 20 odd years sober, and that wouldn't have done any good, would it? You know what I mean? It wouldn't have done anything whatsoever. It would have sullied his name rather than doing that. So it was an easy decision not to drink, but it was a hard decision at the time. It was a hard decision at the time. But there we go. Life's full of that. But most of my life sober has been like everybody else's. It's been up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But to be honest, more ups than down, which is great. And I found a faith when I got sober. And that has come and gone in frequency all the way through. I am not a just find something once and that's the end of it. I've been debating buying American Lawman. I think honestly, you'll love it. It's the only thing that people seem to say is it's thin, and it is quite thin. I'll show you to there's a blur. So it's about the same thickness as a blur. To me, it's not that thin. I think it's because it's quite tall that people think it is ultra thin. Let me see. Have I got my wee? There we go. I'll tell you exactly what it is. While we're here, don't mind us. Just talk amongst yourselves there. We'll sort ourselves out. Let me just see. It's 3.3 millimeters in the blade diameter, and then the knife itself. Oh, what have I done? Right, clear millimeters. It's 1 centimeter thick. 1 centimeter thick, which is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Beautiful in hand. I think you would love it. Anybody would love this knife. I think it's such a... If you want a working knife or a defense knife, whichever. I don't really work on defense. I don't do knife fighting, I'm afraid. So it's a martial art I never got into. I played judo for years, and then I'd done a bit of jiu-jitsu, but that was with... I was a policeman, so it's part of your training and that, and you could go on advanced courses. But no, I never got into knife fighting. It was never a thing when I grew up, really, knife fighting. There was lots of other fighting going on. I was brought up in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, but knife fighting was never one of them. I carried a knife as a tool from there, as from a wee boy, and a big rope knife, a big sailor's knife, all metal construction that I carried with me for years. And it was great. Loved it. But no. Boy, I've done all sorts of jobs. When I came out of the Navy, I never settled. because I just got sober when I came out of the Navy, and I could never find a job that I actually wanted to go on and fulfill the rest of my life with. Never did. I kept changing. But that's all right. I kept working. I kept looking after a family. But I just never, ever found something. You know, people say they found a job that they love. I never did find it. I live about 50 miles close to here. We used to have a parking lot sales, and you could get... Oh, wouldn't you love to go to one of those now? Wouldn't you love to? That XHP, I would love to get some of that steel. I've never had it, and I would love to try it. Which site would you recommend for buying knives in the UK? Moonraker and Heine Haynes is the two sites I would buy from. Yeah, the Navy is a hard act to follow. My Navy was. But yeah, that's the two sites that I mainly use in the UK. And now I also now use Fraymar knives now more than any. They do an awful lot more of the higher end knives. They do have cheaper knives around £100, but to buy a higher end knife, I would recommend Fraymar knives. For the more budget knives, I would recommend Moonraker knives, Heine Haynes. Fraymar knives, as a mamas and papas sport, just go and support them. They have fantastic. Go on their website, go in and ask them what they've got coming in or what they've got coming. They do everything from Chris Reeves to an Ace Farley, which is 150. But they do second-hand knives as well. People who have traded knives in, and they'll take trade-ins on the higher end knives, which is something you're not going to get with Heine Haynes or Moonraker. Just go over, check them, get on the website, have a look, ring them up, speak to Frank or Andrew, and tell them Paddy sent you, and they'll look after you really well. Anyway, to be honest, so don't worry about that. You'll get looked after there. Well, now, young gentlemen, Moonraker usually a bit cheaper than Heine. You have to spend a bit more to get free postage. Yeah, Heine's. I bought a £57 Rough Rider Reserve yesterday, and still had to pay postage of £2 something. It came to £60 for the knife. Never had that before in Heine. It was used to be over £30. You got free postage. Now they're not doing it. But hey, it's not Heine's fault. The world has gone mad. But I think it's a bit. I think if you're spending 50 quid and above, and you're getting charged delivery, not so keen on that. Not so keen on that. But anyway, there we go. Just next time I'll shop around, see if I can get one somewhere else for free delivery. That's the way. Business is business. But look, thank you so much for listening. I've had a really enjoyable hour. I think I enjoy this format, just having my knives about me and maybe not having a topic. I seem to have answered more questions. If I missed you, I'm really sorry. Sorry about my hair. I got the hair blowing off me when I was out there. Thank you very much. And I'll do another one probably next Sunday. It seems a nice afternoon to do a talk. So all the very best is. Be good. Have a great week. And go and do some good to somebody. Have a nice day. Bye now. Cheerio now. There you are all going. That's great. Look at that. 28 of you hit the like button. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Bye now. I never know how to stop it. Sorry. Stop. Are you sure you want to stop? Yeah.